We are Gathering of the Geeks, a podcast and YouTube show built around the things we as geeks all love. Hashtag we gather on Sundays. Thank you for checking out the one with two lucky devils. I'm one of your hosts, Emmet, and I'm joined by the Ted Lasso to my coach beard, Chris Evans. Chris, how you doing tonight?
I don't like this. I don't like this.
Gathering of the Geeks is available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. All you have to do is search for Gathering of the Geeks, and you will find us right there. We're trying something new, and we don't know if it's working. Is anybody watching? That would be another indication of whether or not it's working or not. I don't know. So I guess we'll just keep going. I see a comment from ourselves, so that's good. Yeah, so we're just testing out some different streaming platforms as we go into 2025. How's that going? How's that going for us, Chris? Pretty stressful, let me tell you. Oh, we got a winner. There we go. Thank you,
Okay,
Phil.
so these comments, it shows a bigger version of the picture and where they're from. That's cool.
That is kind of cool. It looks good. Looks good.
Yeah, I like this, but that's about it so far. Years going. Oh, and it shows the timestamp. Okay, that's neat.
Good too. Yeah.
It's going swimmingly.
So
What is it? Do you see this dark thing I put on? But I don't see you. Okay, are you back? Okay, we're back. Cool new form. I don't know yet.
Phil, slow down.
Also, notice how long it takes to load the comment
Yes,
because it's got a fancy little overlay.
yeah. It is fancy. I like seeing Phil's face like that though. Look at him. He's a handsome fella.
This is cool. Yeah, I do like this. Okay, and then yeah, all right, that's neat. It just takes a second.
Yeah, you got to fill up a lot of that white space though. You got to make a really long comment.
Okay, so I
Yeah.
can't have the technical foul video right now. I wish I could,
Yeah.
but because we're testing the format, we're not allowed to do anything. I
Yeah.
can't even have our new intro that I spent a while on.
Uh-huh.
I was gonna have Zeddy come sing the new song, but I think he was busy. So.
Yeah, that's I'll never forget that. And he hurt me deeply by saying no. So
I didn't even ask him though.
yeah,
I just assumed.
I would
This
assume
is
he would have said
fancy.
no.
It is kind of fancy, yeah. And I mean, we could just play with stuff on there. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, if we sign up to this one, like that powered by EV Mux won't be there. We'd have our our regular logo up there, all that good stuff.
We may keep this though because I kind of like looking like we're the back of a Barbie box.
Yeah, pop song ready to just to burst out any moment.
Or this, which I told Emmett earlier, reminds me of the opening of Look Who's Talking. I kind of feel like that's what this is.
There's gonna be a sperm flying by in a minute.
I don't know about that. It's a family show. And then, this is animated too. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, very slowly, I think.
Why is everything pink and purple?
That must be their colors, the EV Mux colors.
Maybe. Okay. Well, anyway, that's what we're doing.
All right, Chris, what'd you get up to this week?
You know what? I don't even remember now. Well, let's do comics first because I only read one comic. It was pretty simple for me. I read Absolute Batman #4. You got to this one too? I wasn't thrilled with #3. I thought it was kind of a stalling point, and there wasn't much going on, so it just kind of sat there for me. This one does a lot, and I think it does a lot really well. I like it. The art, I'm particular about art, and I've dropped books because of art before.
Mm-hmm.
This one was hard for me to get through with the art. It really was. I just didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
But the story I enjoyed quite a bit, especially because it shows us something with Batman that we've never really seen before. And this isn't a spoiler because it's in the opening pages, but you see him try different stuff with his look.
Mm-hmm.
remember us ever seeing that. That ball keeps moving and it's distracting me. The Emux thing. Uh, yeah, so bad art, but I like what they do with the character, and I like seeing that early progression with him trying different things. It's just neat, and to see that his first idea was a vampire type
Yeah.
bat thing, that was fun.
Hmm.
Considering that's always nothing in the comics. Oh, he's Dracula or he's a vampire,
Yeah.
just a dude in a bat costume, and sometimes the suit's blue.
Hmm.
Um, I didn't care for the trial stuff though, because it does go back and forth in time. So you see stuff when he's a kid at the trial for Joe Chill.
Hmm.
That I wasn't really high on because I don't know what it's doing, and I thought it took away from what we were looking at.
Hmm.
And then it ends in a certain way that I wasn't thrilled about either. But overall, it is a better issue than four. I'm sorry, than three, and it
Hmm.
at least gives us something to chew on. That's my take.
Yeah, the art is something that I obviously noticed right away. Gabriel Walta is I really like their art. I like their art that they do in the ish or the series Barbalian from Tate Brumble and Jeff Lemire. I like the work they're doing with Jeff Lemire right now on Phantom Road. So I am a fan of Gabriel Walta, but I wonder about the idea that if certain artists only work for certain characters, and that's what it felt like to me. Like even after the vampire bat suit, when you just get more or less what the suit has been for the previous three issues,
Yeah.
it just didn't look right. It just didn't look the same as it had. Obviously, it's not going to look the same because it's different artists, but
Mhm.
something about it was just very off-putting to me. And then, like you said, not understanding, how old Bruce was. Was he a teenager? What he was he in the present day? And I didn't like in this issue that there was flashbacks inside of flashbacks.
Right.
It's like pick a lane here. We've already gone backwards. Just
It,
don't go back any further.
it's like a hole inside the donut hole.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I basically agree with everything that you're saying about this issue, and I've been saying it about all the other absolute series that I have been reading and be keeping up on the Superman issues. Just the progression of the story is just they're going forwards and backwards within a very short period of time. Where in this one again, I just didn't appreciate them going back and forth um, with the series. So. Yeah, like I wanted to know more, but which is funny because in issue number 3, I didn't really care about knowing more about Black Mask and his ways of the kung fu. But now in issue 5, are we going to go back to that again? I'm not really sure. Guess we'll see.
Yeah, I well, it's supposed to wrap up in the fifth one too. This
Right.
first arc. So where are we going?
Hmm.
I mean, issue three set up some kind of confrontation, but I don't know. Also, did you get the pop up just now?
I didn't see it pop up. No, what'd you get?
It said that recording is stopped, but
Yeah, only because again we haven't paid for anything. Recording only lasts for so long.
we're still.
Yeah, I'm up on YouTube right now. We're still fine. So I just assume when the show ends that there won't
I
be
warned everybody in the tweet.
any recording.
You were warned.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, yeah, so three did set up like a confrontation is coming, but I'm
yeah.
really very curious how five is going to wrap so much up in
Hmm.
so little time. Assuming it's your standard 32 page book or less. Who
Right.
knows? But Snyder is sticking around, so it's not like, oh well, this is the last of it. But I do think you want to wrap up this first arc well because this was your introduction to this version and you got to stick this landing in every respect, I think, because it is such a departure. And you did have so many naysayers at the start of it. I mean, I wasn't really excited for this book, but
Mm.
I came around to it, and I think if you don't stick the landing, it'll leave kind of a stain on it.
It does look like issue 6 is the final arc.
That was
Uh,
five.
yeah, so I thought that was true too. But there's an issue 5 is February 12th, and then issue 6 is March 12th. And
Okay.
it's the Absolute's first story arc. So you got two more to go.
Oh, that
So
makes me feel
that's a good
better.
thing.
Never mind what I
That's
just
a
said.
good thing. Yeah. Well, even so, like I wonder about, there's nothing. I don't know if April books are solicited yet, but I wonder how the break between the first and second arc, because we've got the next round of Absolute starting soon. So I wonder if they spread them out a little bit. So it's like 3 happening at one time. Because we've got Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, and then we've got Martian Manhunter, the Flash,
Hmm.
and one other one
Aquaman.
happening. So I wonder if I wonder if it's 3 at a time instead of all 6 of them. And then I assume they're going to have more as well. But yeah, I just wonder what's going to happen after 6, if there's going to be a long break, and see what happens there.
I'm hoping it's all six at one time.
Hmm.
That would also, I mean, because that's the way the Ultimates were at Marvel. It was everything at once,
Hmm.
and you just read what you wanted, didn't read what you didn't want to.
Right.
So I'd be okay if it was like that. If it's not, that's fine too. I mean, we have plenty of Batman, plenty of
Yeah.
Superman, and Wonder Woman to read,
Yeah.
but I do enjoy these alternate takes right now, at least for Batman and Wonder Woman. Superman, where the jury's still out, I believe is the phrase.
I think Ultimate Wolverine's starting soon.
It is. I don't even know if I want to read it.
Oh, really? How come?
Um, it's entrenched in that new Ultimates universe that they've created now, and I don't
Right.
really know what's going on. So I feel like when I try to read it, I'm going to be very confused.
Hmm.
But
Oh,
I
like
know the
it's not going to be
basic of
even a
it.
standalone.
Yeah, it's not a standalone, so
Right.
it might be hard for me to follow. But I know the basics of the universe and the basic of this Wolverine. He's the Winter Soldier for some reason.
I
Yeah, I
see.
don't know. I don't
I
know.
like his suit.
I love the suit. The suit is very cool.
Hmm.
I like the face mask too. That should be a thing with more heroes.
Hmm.
To me, it makes more sense for them to have face. Like even Batman, I think he should have a face mask.
Hmm. I guess yeah. There's Ultimate Spider-Man, Black Panther, X-Men, the Ultimates, and then I guess Wolverine's the next one.
Yeah, so we'll
Hmm.
see. I
Interesting.
might read, I might not.
Guess we shall.
We'll see how the week goes. What else
Yeah.
did you read this week?
So I got to 2 other things this week. One of them being um, you sent me the cover for it a little while ago. Cruel Kingdom #1. It's that one with the robot on the front with the big sword. You remember that one from a while ago that you sent me?
No.
No, it's from
It sounds cool though.
yeah. It's from Ani Press, who's doing the anthology of the epitaphs of the abyss with
Oh
the
yeah, I
rainbow
didn't like
covers.
that though.
Yeah. So this is a different one. This one's called Cruel Kingdom, and it's like fantasy sci-fi, but based in um, like Lord of the Rings fantasy, like old, like the olden days type of deal. Kind of like Rebel Moon ish, where you've got the robot on, like with the those rebels or whatever.
Mm,
So there's 3 stories in the first issue. I really liked this first issue, and I'm really digging the anthology, much like I am with the Epitaphs of the Abyss, where there's 3 stories, and you can read one and put it down, and then pick it up again and read the other one. So really digging it. Good cover art, and the cover art is the first one of the first of the 3 stories in the book. So I really like that one a lot. And yeah, just loving the variety, loving the idea of science fiction in medieval times, which I think is kind of a cool idea. What would happen? And their one issue is magic versus machine versus
mm,
science fiction, which is kind of a cool thing. So
that is cool.
it's not like the horror version of it, but I'm really digging the anthology aspect to it. So that's Cruel Kingdom #1, and I had forgotten about it, and I actually kind of shrugged it off after you sent me that cover, which I did enjoy. I wasn't sure if I wanted to get into another series to read, but I had some extra time, so I got into that one. I'm happy that I did. So I do recommend reading Cruel Kingdom #1. Mm,
I would check that out. I mean, if you liked it, I'm not big on the anthology thing. I don't think you usually are either. So if you're into it, maybe I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, it depends. Like, it depends how easy it is to read most of the time, and if I don't have to do too much homework. So,
Hmm.
like, if in the next issue, if it's the same stories, 1, 2, 3, or if it's going to be brand new, I'm not sure. I guess we'll see. Yeah, so that's that. And the other one that I read was The Lucky Devils, #1 from Image Comics. That is from Charles Soule and Ryan Brown. They did the 8 Billion Genies from
Oh yeah, yeah.
a couple years ago. It's about a couple of devils breaking out of hell, and causing a ruckus.
Well, that sounds
Um,
fun.
it's very fun. Chris, you would really like this one. I do recommend it. I really like the art as well. It's got kind of a little bit of
Lucky Devil.
um, John Romita Jr., if you're kind of into that
Hmm.
style as well. It's funny. It's very funny. The this crew and everything they write is very funny. They did a series from a couple years ago called Curse Words, which is also very good. So
I like
highly
the cover,
recommend. Yeah, the cover is very good, and that's the art of the book. So
but
yeah, Lucky Devil's number one. Very good.
I'm assuming they look more like people.
The Devils,
Yeah, or do they stay like gremlins?
they are gremlins.
Okay, so they don't become like human form
Nope, they are interacting with humans.
as gremlins.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
that's gonna take getting used to, but I will read it.
Yeah. They're little gremlin devils who've got their own mystery as well as them causing a ruckus just for fun. So, yeah, I've been looking forward to this one for a little while just because I really dig 8 Billion Genies. Yeah, so I highly recommend Lucky Devils number one.
It sounds kind of like what the hell's going on? It sounds like
You're the one changing your background for no reason.
I didn't.
You're
Okay, this is not because of that.
the-
I don't think it is. Let's see. Is it? No, maybe. Okay.
yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Blurred. Maybe. It kind of sounds like there was a book. I forgot the author's name called I Lucifer. Have you ever heard of
Mm,
it?
yeah.
Okay, it sounds kind of like I Lucifer in a way.
Okay. Interesting.
So I like that book. It's fun.
Hmm. Nice.
But
That's
yeah,
it.
I'll take that. That sounds cool.
Yeah, that's it for my reads this week.
That was a
What
decent read
watches?
list.
Yeah, what'd you watch this week?
I didn't watch anything new really. I was kind of
Mm.
on a rewatch kick.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I actually, I guess, rewatched a couple different genres. I started with Once Bitten, which is an 80s vampire comedy with Jim Carrey.
Oh,
It's
I saw you tweet about it.
it's basically American Pie meets 80s wackiness. That's kind of what it is. Jim Carrey is the star, of course. Laura Hutton is the lead vampire. The rest of the cast, I don't know if I've ever seen them again in anything. They were probably big in the '80s, though. I don't know. Like,
I assume so.
yeah, one of Jim Carrey's best friends looks familiar, but he
Mm.
also just looks like every other like blonde teenager at the time, and he's got that
Yeah.
attitude. So, oh, someone's heard of it. Cookie has heard of it. I love
Oh
Once
my
Bitten.
God! Of course she has.
No one ever knows what this movie is when I mention it, so that's cool. I was like, "What is that?" Jim Carrey was in a vampire movie. Yes, and it's of course the Jim Carrey we know.
Yeah, 1985. That's a very early Jim Carrey right there.
Yeah, but it's still him. Like
Yeah,
it's there.
he's always been him.
There's this scene where it's a dream sequence where he's wearing like the full Dracula costume,
Hmm.
and he has a look on his face that looks like every other Jim Carrey movie we've ever seen since. If he was green, he'd be the Grinch. It's that same face.
Uh-huh.
But it's a really fun movie.
Hmm.
Oh, Phil knows what it is too. Cool.
Holy cow!
Underrated flick. All
You are
right.
now three.
Now we're three, really. Oh, and our friend Tim Rooney knew about it, so that's four.
Even better.
Yeah, it's four of us. Cool. But it's fun. I think it's got some laughs. It hasn't. There are certain things there that haven't aged the best, just like any other '80s movie you watch.
Hmm.
So that's a thing. But for the most part, it's really fun. It's got some interesting vampire stuff,
Hmm.
and it's if you like the stupid '80s comedies, it's a win. It's also only 90 minutes. Has a great soundtrack. Actually, the main song "Once Bitten" has been stuck in my head for days now. It's on my Spotify list. I've been like I was playing Call of Duty with that playing in my earbuds.
Perfect.
It's just what you do. But if you haven't seen it, give it a shot. You might like it.
All right. All right.
It's fun. It's painless.
Hmm.
There's Jim Carrey. So
Yep. Early Jim Carrey.
yeah,
Always a fun test.
yeah. I thought there would be like another name in there. Like maybe I didn't know at the time when I watched it, 15 years ago or whatever.
Hmm.
But no, there is no other except Laura Hutton, who I don't even know what else I've seen her in. I just know she was a name at the time.
Oh, jeez.
She's been in some stuff. I know that. Just I don't know what. I also always confuse her with Beverly D'Angelo because they look really similar to me.
Oh, from National Lampoons.
Yeah, I think they look pretty similar. Maybe that's just me.
Hmm.
I feel like in an alternate universe, she was what's her name? Griswold. What is her name?
I love a whole what's her name Griswold.
What is her first name in that movie?
Ellen.
Hmm, there you go. Not to be confused with Ellen Hutton
Yeah,
or
that's right.
Hutter. It's a different Ellen.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, Once Bitten. Check it out. They do look. Cookie says they do look similar. I,
Holy.
I feel like one is taller than the other, and that's the difference.
Hmm.
I think that is the difference. But they could be sisters, like Margot Robbie and any other blonde actress right now, like Samara
Oh,
Weaving.
okay. Yeah, that's right.
Um, then I've been playing. I was playing a lot of Uncharted, and I finished the fourth one. I
Mhm.
replayed it, and so after that, I thought, you know what? I want to revisit the movie. Maybe it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. The Tom Holland movie, which I think we talked about 2 years ago, with whatever it was now.
Yeah, just if not just briefly. I think
Yeah,
that's all it deserved.
that's still all it deserves. But I guess with some time removed, it's not as bad as I remembered. But
Mm,
it's still not Uncharted, really, because Tom Holland is very young, and I
yes.
don't think they really understood the character of Nathan Drake.
Mm-mm.
But it's still a fun movie for what it is.
Okay.
And if they ever make a sequel, it's time to recast everybody. And
I
then
hope they do make another one. Like, I hope they do.
I actually don't know why they haven't yet,
Yeah.
because it made money and the game is still wildly popular. And if you look at the success of The Last of Us, people seem to like when video game adaptations from Naughty Dog are taken seriously.
Yes.
So it would make sense to give it a shot. But I don't think Neil Druckmann cares about Uncharted anymore.
Well, and if and Holland's just that much older too. Getting closer and closer to actually being Nathan Drake's age.
But he doesn't look it. I don't know what kind of black magic he's done in his life. He hasn't aged a day.
Yeah.
And whatever he's on, I would like some. But maybe he's on the substance. I don't know.
No, you and this. Yep.
You got to check it out one day. I don't.
I don't
I
know
know
what you're talking about.
you're not going to like it, but you should check it out anyway.
Just so I can get the references at least.
Just so you can get the references and you can understand what it means to respect the balance.
Yeah. See.
You got to respect the balance.
Okay, I'll respect it.
I don't know if you will.
Yeah. I'll be like, oh, definitely don't respect that.
We got to see what your willpower is on that one.
Oh gosh.
Um, yeah, so Uncharted's there. If you guys want to watch it, it's a thing.
Hmm.
It's got Antonio Banderas for no reason.
Yeah,
Um,
okay. Yeah, never mind.
yeah, he's in it. They kind of just mimic the story of the last game, which is kind of interesting too.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
you
it's
had the
got yeah, it's
blueprint.
got the plane scene, right?
Well, it's got the plane, the cross. It's all about the pirate treasure.
Yeah.
It's the fourth, and it's got the stuff with Sam. It's essentially the fourth game,
Yeah.
except they mess with stuff.
Hmm.
When you see a blueprint, you should always go the other way. That is the thing to do.
That's right.
That's how everything gets made. And I watched. I'm now on a Mission Impossible kick.
Oh,
I want to
beautiful.
watch them all before Final Reckoning,
Hmm.
even more impossible mission.
That's right.
Yeah, before the final one. So I watched the first one. And when's the last time you watched them? I know you do a rewatch of these yearly.
Yeah. So it wasn't 2020. It wasn't 24. It would have been 23 that I actually watched
Hmm.
all of them.
Okay.
Now I skip over one, two, and three, and just do four, five, six.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So you're already disrespecting the balance.
Yeah. See, I actually like two. I like two a lot. Actually, I
Hmm.
think it's a lot of fun. But just watching two, four, five, six just kind of doesn't work in the sequence of things.
They are different
And
beasts.
what you're going to talk about, I assume, is how number one is so different from.
That is exactly what I want to talk about because we've
Yeah.
all seen the movie. We
Mhm.
all most people like it. I do too.
Yep.
But it's like when you watch the Fast and the Furious in the first movie, they're doing like they're literally racing around Los Angeles, and then they're stealing DVD players.
Yep.
And I think like VCR TV combos, which I
Oh,
miss.
definitely. Oh,
They
yeah.
need to bring those
Definitely.
back.
The high end ones for sure.
They were awesome. But anyway,
Mhm.
so and then you get to like the last one, and The Rock is grabbing torpedoes on ice and like redirecting them,
Oh my god.
or even the cliffhanger of what was it, 17? What was the last one? Was it the Fate of the Furious? Is that what it was called?
I don't know.
I don't know. Faster, More Furious.
Faster and
Jason
Furious.
Momoa is in it for no reason.
Yeah.
Whatever. The progression between those films is exactly what you get in Mission Impossible
Mm-hmm.
because the first one is so grounded and noir like,
Mm.
and it's also cast a certain way. Like you had John Voight in there, you had
Yeah.
Emilio Estevez, you had some names for the time in '96, which I thought was
Hmm.
cool.
Yeah. What's his name? Who's the professional?
Jean Reno,
Yeah.
yeah, he's in there too.
Yeah.
I think the only like even some of the smaller characters were big names. Like Vanessa Redgrave is in it,
Hmm.
so it's just really interesting when you watch that one and then see where it is now.
Yeah.
It's still a great movie, and I kind of wish there was more like these, like mixed in, because you go from this, which is a spy thriller essentially,
Hmm. Yeah.
to Mission Impossible 2, which is it was basically just James Bond, but with Tom Cruise.
Hmm.
And then after that, they just flew off the handle.
Yeah.
Just they just asked Tom Cruise, "Hey, what do you want to do today?" And that's
Hmm.
what it is.
Yeah. That one's so funny. That one's directed by Jonathan Demme, who did Silence of the Lambs. Like, not action movie guy.
Which one is directed by him?
The first one.
I thought it was directed by Brian De Palma.
That's who I meant to say.
Oh,
That's who I meant to say. I got those two directors confused. So
oh
yeah,
yeah,
Palmer, you're right. Yeah,
yeah, it's
that's
Brian.
who it
Which
was.
is it was an interesting choice at the time.
Yeah, the one of the I don't think it's an issue, but the thing I noticed most about the first one is how serious every scene is, and the camera
Every scene.
lets us know how serious every scene is. Like there's so many close-ups and people looking sideways, and the music. Like people can't have a conversation. It's just every scene is so serious.
And Tom Cruise is, I think, more serious in this than he is in Vanilla Sky when he has half a face.
That's right.
He is so serious.
Yeah,
And John Voight is kind of young, kind of old. It's weird to look at him.
he's always been like that.
Yeah, but usually when I think John Voight, I think of Anaconda. I love that movie.
Yeah,
It's probably
star in his face. Yeah.
yeah, Baby Bird. It's a great movie. I think it's, or maybe it's not great. I don't know, but I enjoy it. So
It's not great.
it's fun though.
That's funny. I watched National Treasure, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, and I'd forgotten that John Voight was in that movie.
You just reminded me.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my god, he's in this. Okay,
Isn't he Nicolas Cage's father in that movie?
yeah, that's right.
Okay. It's been a long time. I like those movies. Well, I've never seen the second one. I like the first one though. But
Yeah, I haven't seen the second one either. I stopped at the first one.
then you should just rewatch Anaconda if you missed John Voight.
Now that I should, yeah. I hear they were remaking that movie. It's
It looks so much fun.
yeah. It won't have Owen Wilson, Jennifer Lopez, Ice Cube, or John Voight in it though.
That's okay. They don't need to be. I like Paul Rudd and Jack Black. That's a much better idea.
So strange.
Well, I mean, the idea for that movie is hilarious. They want to go recreate it.
Yeah,
It's pretty fun to me. And for a long time, before I, knew, I thought anacondas were that large.
that's right.
Yeah, so that's fun.
Yeah, that's right.
It might still be. We don't know. I've never explored
I
the
never
jungle.
been there. I never been to the Amazon. I don't
I
know.
think that's our next fake Gathering of the Geeks tweet.
That's right.
Or I'll find a
Heading
way to face swap us
heading
into
out to the
Anaconda.
Amazon. Oh God, Jesus.
I'll see what I can do. I'll get on that.
Yep.
But Mission Impossible is good. Watch it. It's out there. I also forgot. I watched Mayfair Witches. I'm just going to talk about this really
Oh,
quickly.
nice.
I think they listened to the criticisms of the first season,
Hmm.
because the first episode is surprisingly really good,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't look like it was shot for a couple of Happy Meals on set.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like they actually put some money into it. Um, the script is, well, I don't know about the script, but the way it's performed is better. Everybody doesn't seem like they're in space this time around. Like they actually know what they're doing. And it's just doing something that I didn't really know was a thing. And
Mm-hmm.
also, this might be what has hooked me already. The look ahead shows vampires,
Mm-hmm.
but one specifically, I think it's the vampire that Lestat had as his lackey in the finale of Interview with the Vampire.
Oh, the like the rocker
The
junkie.
rocker looking, yeah, the junkie looking guy.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
Oh,
pretty sure
interesting.
that's him in the look ahead.
Mm.
So, and plus New Orleans, we know that's where Lestat was during the hurricane thing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm in already. It's cool.
Is it so? Were you thinking that it's taking place at the same time as that?
Oh, well, that I don't know. I don't know when exactly this takes place because so it's really close with the finale of the first one, the first season of Mayfair Witches, and I don't remember when that took place in the timeline.
Yeah.
So I really don't know. But now it seems like the seeds are definitely there to do more.
Mm.
And like I said, the episode was good. I'm actually excited to watch it tonight too.
Nice.
Yeah, I didn't think I'd be saying that because I spent all years saying we don't need this show, but
Yeah.
here we are.
How's what's her name? Daddario.
Better.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, it's not like she's in space anymore. She's better.
Mm.
And the cast is smaller in this one, which is helpful.
Mm.
Because I think that was the issue with the first season. There were so many characters, and I didn't understand why are we seeing all these people at once when I'm just trying to grasp this concept.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm.
and the stuff with Lasher is something. It's really something.
How many
You don't know
episodes?
how you didn't watch the show. You don't know who I'm talking about, do
No, I
you?
have no idea who you're talking
Okay.
about.
Well,
10
I
episodes?
forgot.
Yeah.
So Lasher is like this spirit, like an evil spirit that was not exactly haunting the Mayfair family, but he was around them a lot. He's it's hard to explain him. He's like a demon spirit deal.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, that's about all I could say. But in this one, you see some more about him. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
Cookie's going to catch up tonight. I'm very curious what she's going to think because we both noped out of this. Well, she got out of the first season quicker than I did. I I decided to suffer and I watched all of it.
You just suffer through
Well, as she said the other day, one of us had to, and she's right. So,
it.
okay, yeah, like a dark guiding force kind of thing. That's sort of what Lasher is, yeah.
Hmm.
But it's kind of like, do you trust the ghost that speaks to you? You probably shouldn't.
Nope.
Like I don't. I think if Casper were telling me, "Hey,"
Oh, I don't know. Casper, he's pretty friendly.
see, I think that's a lie. I don't think Casper's really that friendly because in the movie, he was friendly and then he got really depressed when she was like all about the real people and he was going to be on his own.
Uh-huh.
So we never saw what he would have done if
Casper on a killing spree.
hey, we don't. Maybe he kills the kid. Like, yeah, she's my friend, not yours. We don't
Hey,
know
I'm
that.
sure we'll get that movie. We got Peter Pan, we got Winnie the Pooh. It's time for Casper to be killing people.
I don't know why that's not a thing already. I really don't.
Hmm. Yeah.
And I want to see Peter Pan. But anyway, what'd you watch?
Jesus. Sweet Christ, man.
I do what I can. You know that. Don't bring Casper into it too late.
Yeah. Chris don't care. Chris don't care about your little friendly Casper.
Wendy is his accomplice, not his friend. Is that the little girl's name, Wendy?
I
Wasn't it a
think so.
witch?
That was Wendy the. Yeah, that's another. Isn't that
Yeah,
another show?
I thought they were friends. I could have sworn Casper and Wendy is a thing.
Yeah, yeah. But is that Christina Ricci's name?
Oh no, I don't know what her name was. But Wendy
Oh,
is a thing. Wendy like probably lures the kids to Casper. Hey, look, this is your friend that I kidnapped, or
yeah.
something. I don't know.
Casper meets Wendy, 1998. Hilary Duff plays Wendy.
Oh, okay. Kind of want to
Wendy
watch
the,
that.
Wendy the good little witch. Mm-hmm.
That sounds like a recipe for trouble.
That sounds pretty shady to me.
That's pretty sus, like the kids say. That's sus. I don't know about that. Casper Free Zone. No, we're past that, Phil.
No, no, screw that little ghost.
I didn't say that. I'm just waiting to see the homicidal tendencies come out of him.
Homicidal tendencies.
We don't know.
Yeah, we don't. Could happen.
Uh-huh.
Um, okay, what did I watch? I watched for the second, maybe third time, Hell or High Water. You seen that movie with Chris Pine,
Chris
and Ben,
Prime sounds better because he's the favorite Chris of people.
and Ben Foster and Jeff Bridges. Have you seen that one?
I've never seen it, but it's been on my list since it was released. I've always wanted to get to it. I just don't.
Yeah. So post Yellowstone being over, I've been looking to try and get my Taylor Sheridan fix. He
Hmm.
wrote Hell or High Water, and I remember liking the movie a lot.
Okay.
And I still like the movie quite a bit. Jeff Bridges is great in it. Old Jeff Bridges is maybe my favorite Jeff Bridges. You know, True Grit, Wild Heart, and Hell or High Water, like the really old sullen cowboy type of deal. I like Chris Pine a lot as well. I like when he's given good material and he's not used as a, you know, sometimes I feel like he's the comedic actor or the goofy guy in some things. I like it when he's taken very seriously, and I've always liked Ben Foster as well. So I like the three main actors in it. I like the idea of the story about these two brothers robbing banks and why they're robbing the banks. What's that?
It's a bank robber movie.
Yeah, yeah. Ben Foster and Chris Pine are robbing banks.
This is one of those times where I think it's something completely different.
Which one? What did you think it was?
So I thought it was a movie about farmers and a flood.
That's like you looking at a comic and looking at the cover and be like, "This movie's about that," or "This comic's about that," and
That's
then
exactly what I did.
the title for
I
the
thought it was
movie.
about farmers and a flood.
That's right. They are trying to save their farm,
Sorry.
so they're robbing banks. Anyway, so by the I don't know, it's weird to talk about it without spoiling of it, but the story by the end of the movie is completely unbelievable, not believable. Sorry, it just doesn't make any sense. Um, what the two brothers were doing and what happened to them by the end of it. It really hurt by the time I got to the end of the movie and I thought to myself, well, was that a waste or am I missing something? And so I wonder. I think you should watch it because I need to bounce an idea off you about the movie, about if I'm missing something or if they just completely got the movie wrong and got the ending completely wrong. So if you could put it at the top of that one of your watch lists, that would be very much appreciated. So I
I
could
will move it ahead of Casper Meets Wendy.
yeah yeah far and away from Casper Meets Wendy.
I don't know. I kind of want to see that too, but yeah, I'll move this one now that I know what it is.
Yeah,
I think
not
I
about
I
course.
don't think I've ever seen a trailer. I was sold on the cast that it's a
Yeah.
western, and I saw a
Hmm.
poster,
Yeah.
so
It's
automatically
yeah.
my mind went, you know,
That's the thing. It's a modern day western. That's the
hmm,
whole idea of it. So maybe that's why the ending is, I don't know, not as believable as it should be, but not really sure. Something about it just didn't rub me the right way. So yeah, I want to get. And the other one that I watched was um, Wind River with Jeremy Renner and Elizabeth Olsen in it. It's also got John Berthnall in it as well.
okay,
Um, it's about an Indian woman who is murdered on an oil field, not like the field, but like the camp or whatever where the
hmm,
oil guys work. And it's about Jeremy Renner coming on to help Elizabeth Olsen try and solve this murder. It's very like this movie, both of them, Elizabeth Olsen and Jeremy Renner. I think this is their best work. Um, um, oh hey, Grabs, how you doing, man?
well, Grabs, you're in
Um,
luck. We did not have an intro this
yeah,
time
good
because
for you.
we are
uh,
trying a new platform and we're not allowed to have the fun stuff yet.
yeah, so I think this is Jeremy Renner's and Elizabeth Olsen's best work. I also think this is Taylor Sheridan's best written work as well. Wind River.
Hmm.
I think it's one of the saddest movies I've ever seen as well.
Oh,
um, particularly the ending of it. The action is very good, and the kind of the northern atmosphere, the snow and the winter kind of bleeds true to my heart a little bit. So yeah, I highly recommend that one as well, Chris. If you haven't got to Wind River or Hell or High Water, I do recommend both of them. I think Wind River of the two of those is my favorite and one of Taylor Sheridan's best written works. So highly recommend both of those. But I like it's funny seeing Hawkeye and Scarlet Witch in something in a real like a real deal movie and how good of actors they both can be and are.
yeah, I think that's kind of the misconception about them. And I'm also going to throw Aaron Taylor Johnson in this too, because
Hold
because
up,
well,
you're gonna have a sign. You used to have that sign that said "Believe." You're gonna have a sign that says Taylor Johnson
no,
is a good
I'm
actor.
not. No, I'm not that big of a fan of him. Believe me, but I do like him. But I bring him up because he was also in Godzilla with Elizabeth Olsen.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
So I feel like when you take MCU, I bring up because when you take MCU actors out of the MCU, you can really see what they're capable of. And I don't mean that in a, oh, the MCU sucks kind of way. That's not what I mean at all. I just mean that when they're able to do stuff other than what you're used to them saying,
yeah,
like a kind of a fish out of water thing, like Hurt Locker. Is that the one with Jeremy Renner?
100%.
Yeah, people love that movie.
Hmm.
Elizabeth Olsen was in this horrible horror movie. I don't remember what it was called, but it was like a one shot camera kind of thing. She was great in it. The movie's dog crap, but um, you take them out of these movies and they do well,
Hmm.
especially for some reason when they're paired together. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, when you pair them, they always work. I guess because they have the built-in chemistry from knowing each other. Maybe
That
that's what
helps.
it is. But I will check at least Hell or High Water out. Wind
Yeah.
River, I haven't heard
Well,
of. I
we
have to see where it's streaming.
yeah, I found it on a completely legal site to stream for sure.
Oh, okay. I like those. They
Hmm.
are completely safe too, so they're good.
Yeah, yeah.
So, can we talk about the foreign movie with the flood? That sounds great. That was Hell or High Water. It. I don't know. I guess I had a fever dream about it and thought it was
Hmm.
that.
Yeah, it's funny. We're talking. You mentioned getting those two away from the MCU. We talked about it when we were talking about Furiosa with Chris Hemsworth as well. Like
Oh, he's another example.
great
Yeah,
an actor he is, and he's just you get him away from like the I don't know the
the
I don't know
routine.
the routine like the show, the horse and pony show or whatever you call it of the MCU, and give them like material where it's not about their hammers or their special effects or whatever, and they actually have to speak and make it believable. And they all from those three, and I think Chris Evans may be another one. It's just tough though. I don't know if I've seen. I don't know if he's had the material yet. Have you seen a Chris Evans one where he's had the material yet?
Yeah, Snowpiercer comes to mind. I know there's
Oh
that Apple TV thing
yeah.
people are really high on with him, but I also think, and I love the guy. I do. I think he's very entertaining. I love him as Captain America. He's the reason I love Captain America.
Yeah.
He's not on the same level as, let's
Mm.
say, a Christian Bale, if you will. So, and I know that's a high bar, but I don't think he's that same level. He is good though. Snowpiercer is the one that really stands out to me as one of his much better roles, and that's
Hmm.
just a wild movie too. If you've never seen it,
Oh, I love that movie.
yeah, I haven't seen the TV show, but the movie's wild. I think, but also the thing with the MCU is a lot of those actors were getting their starts to an
Yep.
American audience at least with the like Tom Hiddleston. I think was known around before the MCU, but not to American audiences.
Hmm.
And he's another case of you could put him in anything, and I think he excels.
Hmm.
But you didn't know it because you really only see him as Loki.
Hmm.
Scarlett Johansson was around a lot, so everybody knew what she was capable of. Downey, etc. It's just interesting because a lot of people, I think myself included, with some of them, you see them for the first time in the MCU, so you think that's all they can do. But then
Yes.
you see like Chadwick Boseman and Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and like, oh, this is amazing.
Yep.
Uh, I got used to saying James. It's Grabs now.
It's grabs.
you,
That's what I know.
you threw me off. Like I read that, I was like, oh, that's Grabs. But then I was like, oh, wait a minute. My wife and I are on a Stephen King kick right now. Currently reading 11/22/63, but up next is Misery, and it will be up. Oh, and it will be up soon.
Hmm.
I've never read the book, but I think I'm getting more curious about it because Welcome to
Hmm.
Derry is coming.
Oh yeah.
I'm getting a little bit curious about the book, but I've heard it's such a mess from people whose opinion I would listen to.
Hmm.
I've heard that it's a mess, and that I already know the ending is
It's strange.
something. Yeah, it's something. But I think I might have to get into Stephen King books,
Nice.
and I'm going to get the shirt from Mantra Squad. Stephen King rules.
Hmm. Yeah, I read 11/22/63. It's a good one. Um,
What is it?
yeah, it's about a guy going back in time to try and stop JFK from being assassinated. And yeah,
Oh, okay.
11/22/63 is the day he was assassinated.
Yes. Phil says the It book is excellent, long but engrossing. Oh, I thought you said it was a mess. Maybe I'm confusing. Maybe I'm confusing
Engrossing,
it with another book.
engrossing in a
No,
mess.
I might be confusing it with another book then.
Mm.
But yeah, I think I'm going to have to read that. I don't know. That Kennedy thing sounds interesting, but living in
It's a
Dallas,
TV show.
we have Kennedy stuff all over, and I'm not into it.
Yeah, there was a TV show with James Franco as the lead character. I can't remember what network that was on from a few years ago as well.
There's always something JFK around, I feel
Oh
like.
yeah.
And here we have like the JFK Museum. People go to take pictures where the he was shot at, which is kind of bizarre to me.
Hmm.
You have this guy that sits there and he waits for you to ask him about conspiracy theories, and then when he tells you his conspiracy theories, he expects a tip, which is kind of funny. They have a museum that overlooks where he was shot. Like you can go where the shot was from, I guess.
Like the grassy knoll or whatever, or
Yeah,
the
well,
smoke
it's a
depository.
museum. Yeah, they made it a museum, so
Right.
there's a lot of JFK stuff here.
Oh yeah.
So I don't really care to watch movies and things about it. I can just go talk to that guy downtown.
Yeah, that's right. Just go go waste your money giving that money to that guy downtown.
Give him a quick five. He'll tell you something. What are you feeling today, bro?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, what do you got for us today?
I'm sure he's got something.
Hmm.
The snow might have kept him away the last few days, though.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he's got no conspiracy theory about the snow.
He might. Maybe JFK is alive and causing the snow.
I believe it.
JFK, the weather witch.
That's funny. Okay, the last thing that I read, and it's kind of annoying that it's the same instance I had 2 weeks ago when I was talking about Dune Prophecy, and I hadn't
Hmm.
seen the season finale yet. So I finally got back to watching the White Lotus season two. So I watched season one whenever it came out. I think that was 2019, maybe 2020. I can't remember. And I thought it was okay. I thought it was good. And then I started to watch season two, and I got 2 episodes in, and I didn't I didn't enjoy it, or something came up and I stopped watching. Anyway, so I got all the way up until the season finale of the White Lotus season two. So maybe next week I'll talk about how much I'm enjoying um, the season two. But one thing I thought about, and I thought about this when I watch Mad Men, Breaking Bad, or The Sopranos, and you see any young person on the show, and you think this could be the best thing they've ever done. Um, like John Hamm, like obviously he wasn't like super young,
Oh,
but
I
like
thought
that
you
was
meant a kid, and I was like, what?
no, 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 like a younger actor. Like John Hamm was like fairly young when he did Mad Men. I think it was
Compared
his
to
first.
the other actors, yeah.
Yeah, it was the first thing he'd ever done, really.
Mhm.
Same with Elizabeth Olsen. Um, John Slattery had been in some things, so he was an older person. But I wonder about, Aubrey Plaza, who's in it. Theo James is in season two. Um, there's another actress who plays, her name's Phoebe in the show. I can't remember her, but I think about like this could be the best thing they've ever done. It's got F. Murray Abraham in it. It's got um,
Isn't Jennifer
um,
Coolidge in it?
yeah, she's in both season one and two. It's got Michael Imperioli from The Sopranos in it.
Okay.
So it's got some other people in it. Yeah, it's like the and it's on HBO. I from what I understand, anybody who watches it really likes the show. And it just made me think like Theo James. I don't think I've ever seen anything with Theo James in it. Um, and it's like, man, this show on HBO that has won awards, that is heralded across, anybody who watches it, like, Theo, this could be the best thing you've ever done. Like, like, that's not really, it doesn't really mean anything, I guess, but it's just like, and I think about that with, anybody who was on The Sopranos, like Jamie Siegler, who played Meadow, or like John Hamm, or Aaron Paul, who was in Breaking Bad, like how there wasn't the next thing. Like Aaron Paul
Mm.
did Gran Turismo, like he was in Westworld, but like there wasn't anything after that either. It's just like sometimes a TV show on a very good network, like one of your first things is the best thing that you will ever do. And I feel like for some people, White Lotus is that thing, especially obviously the younger people. F. Murray Abraham, I'll watch that guy in anything. He's he's just awesome. He's funny, and I like Michael Imperioli as well. So yeah, White Lotus season 2. We talked about this. I don't know, maybe it was last year or the year before, but secondhand embarrassment.
Mm.
There's a ton of that in the White Lotus, where I'm constantly like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. And one of the things I thought about is like real conversation is hard to watch. Like the conversations in the White Lotus feel like they're real people talking,
Hmm.
like it's real emotions, and some of the problems that they're having are real things. And I think that makes it harder for me to watch it, and where I get that secondhand embarrassment where I'm just like, oh, this is awkward as shit, because it feels like I'm right there
Hmm.
beside them as they're talking, but like I want to go to the next room. I want to get away from this conversation. um yeah, so it's very good. It's very well written, very well acted. The third season's out in February, February 16th, I think. So that's why I wanted to really get back to watching. I'm glad that I did, because season 2 is quite good. And I think I actually might like it a little bit better than season 1, even though season 1 has Steve Zahn in it, and I love Steve Zahn.
I love Steve Zahn too. He should be in more stuff.
He
I
should
always
be.
think of him from That Thing You Do. I love him in that movie.
Okay,
That's
that's
one of my
interesting.
favorite things with him. Grab says, I'm not a fan of White Lotus mainly because of that embarrassment thing. I've never really heard a bad thing about it. I just don't know what it is exactly. It's
Yeah,
something I wanted to check. I just haven't. I like the
yeah.
cast though. It's kind of interesting that Aubrey Plaza's in it, and I've heard it's not really a comedy.
Nope.
And I didn't know she could. She did other stuff, to be honest, until I watched My Old Ass, and
Mm,
she's not really funny in that.
nope.
Uh,
Yeah.
that is a drama, unlike it's advertised.
Mhm.
So I would check it out eventually, though, because I've heard nothing but good things.
Yeah, it's pretty. Like, I think the first season has 6 episodes. I think the second season has 7.
Yeah, it's
So
relatively
you
short for
Yeah,
those
like
kind
I
of
started
shows.
watching it yesterday, and I've gotten right up to speed. So yeah, it's not. There is some funny moments in it, but yeah, definitely not a comedy, and very. It's very R with its swearing and sex and drugs and all that kind of stuff. So
Fun
yes,
time.
there's lots of
I like the
genitals.
cast. I just don't need to see their genitals.
Yes, lots of genitals, lots of sex. That's for sure.
It's an HBO show. I kind of expect that with them.
Indeed. So you know the guy from School of Rock, Jack Black's friend.
Yeah, Mike Daughtry, I think is his name, or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. Mike Smith, or Mike White is his name.
That's his
His
name,
name's
Mike White.
his name's Mr. Schneebly in the
Yeah,
movie. He writes and directs The White Lotus,
no shit.
every every single episode.
Mr. Schneebly wrote that. Huh.
That's right.
I
Yeah,
think he wrote School of Rock also.
yeah. So that guy's he's smart as a whip. That guy.
He's kind of like American Simon Pegg.
That's funny.
That's kind of what I feel. That's American Simon Pegg.
I like that.
Yeah, U.S. citizen version.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Got his visa.
Or I think he's
Uh,
American. Maybe he's Canadian. Most people that are talented seem to be Canadian lately. So
who? Schneebly?
yeah,
I don't think so.
the dad from 8-Bit. What is it? The dad from an 8-Bit Christmas showed me his stocking, and I didn't like it. What?
That's funny.
Apparently, I'm missing something in that.
He's naked. He's naked in season 1.
Oh, he's making a lot of stuff like Sunshine Cleaning.
Yeah, that's right.
I love that movie.
I love that movie.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I think it's one of Amy Adams' best performances too,
Hmm.
and Emily Blunt is really good in it.
Hmm.
It's also got that actor that's in a lot of stuff, and he's always like a weird character.
The Mexican guy?
Yeah, what is his name?
Don't know.
He's just that guy. But
He has
that's
no. He's missing an arm in that movie.
He is, yeah. Great
Yeah,
movie, Sunshine Cleaning.
I agree.
Might get to
uh,
that this week.
there you go. Add that to your list.
I might have to.
That's all I got for this week, Chris.
That's some good
Uh,
stuff, I think.
yeah, anything else you want to chat about before we end this test show?
This was an interesting test. I'm, the funny thing about these tests that we're going to run for the next couple of weeks is that
Yeah,
every like free or trial version they're giving us is so limited. It's hard for us to really gauge
yeah,
what we like and don't.
yeah.
Like this platform has some cool stuff,
Hmm.
but we don't know about simple things that we like to do.
Hmm.
So I don't know. We'll have to see how this works going
Yep.
forward.
Next week we may be on this platform. We'll be on another one and testing that one out. Who knows? We'll see.
We're going to hop around till we find one we like.
That's right. Same bullshit in between.
I wish we had the song. I don't know. We
Yeah.
have no way to play it.
All
Um,
right, Chris. Where can people find you?
you guys can follow me on Twitter at thatchris70. I have a blue sky. It's that Chris Evans. I keep forgetting to go back to it. I will at some point. You can also follow the podcast I do with my friends Phil Walsh, Andy Crusoe over at DC Unlimited Pod. DC Unlimited Pod. What would I say? I don't know. DC Unlimited Pod on Twitter. And as usual, I love to follow this one at G of the Geeks. Emmett is better with everything else, so he'll take over.
Yeah, you can follow me everywhere at Emmet Davis 7. Gathering of the Geeks is available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. All you have to do is search for Gathering of the Geeks and you will find us right there. I'm not sure about the show because we stopped recording it about 53 minutes ago. So I'm not sure if we're going to be able to post this one to wherever you get your podcast. But if so, please just search us right there. So thanks to Phil. Thanks to whoever James is. I'm not really sure.
Some guy.
And some guy. And Cookie, thanks so much for watching, guys. We really appreciate you checking out us on this fine Sunday evening. In saying all that, for Chris and I'm Emmett, and we gather on Sundays.
I don't know how this is going to work, so I'm going to press end. So, end of session. We may just be sitting here for a minute.